Hey y'all, I just want to give a content warning right at the top since we are talking about Steven Crowder for homophobia, transphobia, ableism, racism, misogyny, assault, etc. I am going to be showing receipts, if you will, actual clips, and a lot of it is really heinous, so if you want to skip this video or at least mentally prepare yourself for what you're about to see, I highly recommend that. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Faith Evolving. My name is Mary Claire and I'm hereby challenging Steven Crowder to a boxing match. For those of you who may not know, Steven Crowder is a conservative, basically alt-right at this point, commentator, who I unfortunately share both a birth month and a religion with. If he still doesn't ring any bells, maybe this will jog your memory. He's the guy who kind of kick-started the whole change my mind meme template, except his versions are significantly more anti-human rights. He used to be a Fox News commentator who actually got in a bit of a rumble with some union workers back in 2013. And then played the victim when in actuality he was a bit of a perpetrator. Charges were dropped. But all this to say, a boxing match should be right up his alley.
Is Steven Crowder gonna have to slap a bitch?
I want to make it very clear, David Crowder, the guy of the David Crowder Band, and Steven Crowder are two different people. I thought they were the same person for the longest time. Not the case. So researching into Steven Crowder was really important for this video. And this clip was in like the first 5 minutes of the first video of his that I watched, and I think I got whiplash.
But first, Gerald A is here. How are you?
I'm better than you.
Yeah, I haven't slept. Someone just mail me the date rape drug. Quarter Black Garrett, how are you?
Hey, and just, hiding from those police.
Yes, hiding from the police. At least a quarter of you. You would have to let them know.
Yeah, that's
as to
true.
your
I would have
ethnicity to then claim oppressed.
Yeah.
And then,
Honestly, I try to.
I don't know how a group of people can riff the most offensive jokes so easily, so quickly. They just one after another after another. I don't want to be in the inside of these men's minds. I don't want to know what's going on in there, but maybe a therapist should. Now you kind of have a little bit more of an idea of why I wouldn't mind punching this fellow in the nose. And some of you may be sitting there saying, Mary Claire, I thought you were a Jesus follower. Why are you proposing violence? And while I agree this isn't the most mature way to handle conflict, famous cyberbullies have set kind of a precedent of accusing other people of cyberbullying and then starting a boxing career.
You're a cyberbully. I'm sorry, man.
fuck Jake Paul.
And YouTube and Steven Crowder are kind of in a little bit of a tussle right now. He's been demonetized a few times from saying wildly offensive things.
This is what Mr. Gay Vox wants to do. Mr. Let's Be Queer from Vox.
This is one of the many comments conservative YouTube host Steven Crowder has made about journalist Carlos Maza. Maza says he tried to deal with the abuse privately and flagged the videos to YouTube, but claims the company did nothing. So Maza edited together some of the clips where Crowder mentioned him and tweeted it. YouTube has since released a lengthy statement saying that while, quote, individually the flagged videos did not violate our community guidelines, however, in the subsequent days, we saw the widespread harm to the YouTube community resulting from the ongoing pattern of egregious behavior, took a deeper look, and made the decision to suspend monetization.
He was then demonetized again back in late March of this year. Because of, COVID-19 misinformation and election misinformation. And he hasn't really posted on YouTube in about 3 weeks. Okay, like an hour after I filmed this, they made a comeback video. So they're back, I guess. They're going to be pursuing a lawsuit against YouTube. But just in case if he does get banned because he's back on his bullshit, out of the kindness of my heart, I'm just trying to help him find some more career opportunities. Planning ahead, beating him to the punch, if you will. God wrestled with Jacob. I'm gonna box Steven Crowder. Fight me, Steven, I dare you. I dare you. I dare you to fight me. I dare you. Do I know anything about boxing? Now, would I likely lose the match because I'm about 7 inches shorter and at least 80 pounds lighter? Yes. Do I have jabby little elbows that could probably do a bit of damage? I don't think it's a boxing move that's above board, but I could land a few. Now, I don't have any boxing gloves, but I do have these really cute little oven mittens. Look at them. They kind of look like boxing gloves, just... and that really shouldn't be a surprise because according to Steven Crowder, I belong in the kitchen. Yeah, here is a clip where he is criticizing a feminist commentator talking about how marriage is kind of antiquated. And I agree with some of the things in her video that he shows. Some of the things I don't. I think feminism is a very nuanced thing, so whatever. Steven Crowder doesn't feel the same way because he goes on this long tirade like this.
Dress it up, subvert it, deny it all you want. Marriage is an institution that has curtailed women's freedom for centuries.
Okay, first thing, right off the bat, for those listening terrestrially, do you notice something? Right away. The woman she's mocking, the old 50s woman vacuuming, fetching lady. She's a fetching lady. The feminist doing the mocking?
Yeah.
Now look here. Being given away by your father may seem cute and romantic, but it stems from a time when women were seen literally as their fathers and then their husband's property.
If women are property, you're a bad investment. The real estate bubble popped and gave us the nightmare that is you.
Depreciate so fast.
So actually investing in a pair of these oven mitts might last you a little bit longer. It's kind of a race against time. Who's going to become rattier first? Your wife or these really cute little guys I got as a graduation gift. Also in this video, he kind of goes on this whole like Islamophobic take.
Islamic communities that only virgins are valuable. In the Western world, men weren't rewarded with virgins. Heaven isn't promised with virgins.
That is also not promised in Islam. The word that you're translating to mean virgin is hurin, and they are these ambiguous attendants. They're these heavenly specific creatures who are thought of as very beautiful, but they're not, you know, human women and not necessarily virgins.
Women aren't devalued if they're not virgins. Now, granted, yeah, for a long time men did want to be married to virgins. That was considered a good thing. It has nothing to do with systemic oppression. This may not appease the feminist gods. The general rule was it was nice to be married to a non-whore.
Steven Crowder, I want you to open your eyes and take a look at purity culture. You literally wrote an article about how you waited until marriage and how you think that you're a better person for it. So obviously virginity at least one point in your life was a really valuable currency to you. And I mean, if waiting till marriage makes you more like Steven Crowder, someone butter me up, Buttercup. I don't want to be anything like him. So all around some like not super great takes. So if I can't be in the kitchen, what Steven Crowder does want for me is to show him my boobies.
Kindly show us your breasts.
And if I don't, he's gonna get really angry at me.
No, people shouldn't in life, in general, be solely judged on their physical attributes.
Right.
Of course not. It's nice for you to be
This
intelligent.
isn't a job interview.
It's nice. No, it's not a job. Well,
Or date.
As a matter of fact, it is. And the job interview is, I'm going to rate you on a scale to 10 on how good you look naked.
Got really angry about the Miss America pageant, getting rid of the swimsuit competition.
The entire point of Miss America, of beauty pageants, is to look at attractive ladies and be inspired by attractive ladies being attractive.
The one guy at the end kills me. He's just like, yeah, actually, you're making some really good points, Steven. You know, I'm so inspired by these boobs. But yes, a straight passing at least, white cis woman such as myself are objectified by Steven Crowder. But we have it the best out of anyone. Take a look at what he has to say about trans people, especially trans women. He doesn't like them. Warning, a supercut of Crowder saying the slur for trans people ahead. I think it's worth noting that usually he bleeps out when he curses in his videos, but when he uses slurs, he doesn't. So I took it upon myself to bleep it out for him.
How dare you compare me to You're looking more and more like a darn We quickly found out that nobody questions, criticizes, nor runs security background checks on
Yeah, because suicide rate's so high.
Yeah, so with that, I've linked the TREVOR project below for you to like donate or learn about. It's a crisis center and suicide prevention for LGBTQ plus people. Because what we're absolutely not gonna do is, I don't know, make jokes about really vulnerable people unaliving themselves. Bare minimum. He's on this train of like women's sports.
Do you think it's fair for you to compete in the women's category?
Absolutely.
Why?
Why not?
Fucking balls, dick, and scroll. Go start your own organization. No one's persecuting you. We just don't want you beating up women. Why?
You care about women's sports and Title IX when it comes to excluding trans people, but when it comes to, I don't know, a sexual assault case on a college campus. As per this tweet, when you said, if a feminist is violated in a forest and no one is around to hear it, is she still heinously unattractive? You have a bit of a different take on Title IX. Huh? I'm gonna throw it to Samantha Lux.
I don't know why this man is so obsessed with trans women. Steven, honey, if you want to dress up as a woman, like, nobody cares. Like, live your fantasy, girl. We don't judge. You want to borrow my lipstick, bitch? I got you.
Who's a YouTuber who is trans herself and does a lot of content about her experience and also fact-checking a bunch of like super transphobic takes.
The majority of scientists believe that the main cause of the differences in athletic ability between sexes is testosterone. And when that testosterone is suppressed for an extended period of time, the biological qualities affecting athletic ability change. Trans women will retain some of their advantage in athletic ability, such as their on average larger frame, as well as some of the muscle mass testosterone helped them build. However, I think in most cases and in most sports, the disadvantages that trans women experience after going on HRT essentially make a trans woman perform like a big car with a small engine.
Go check out her channel. I'm gonna have that linked below. But also with Steven Crowder, if you are queer of any kind or not white, you're fair game. Yeah.
No.
New and improved Greta.
Yeah, there's more Asperger's in this one.
Oh, geez.
If there's, oh, really? Do you think she hears so many dog whistles because she is, in fact, the Taco Bell Chihuahua?
Yo quiero, brain cells. Black Jesus, done. We got you, B. But Jesus probably looked more like a hijacker. Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, or as I call him, a hero. I'm gonna buy a plow, man.
I'm gonna plant that corn.
Go get a John Deere. Barack Obama, mother. I'm the president of plowing that ass.
I thought the last thing they would want to do was be farmers. Wasn't that a big problem for hundreds of years?
Yeah.
Super against any justice for Black people. I think one of the most heinous things that he's done is he acted out the murder of George Floyd and basically wasn't applying the same amount of pressure, but claimed that that use of force wasn't what killed him. And it's just really vile and really gross. He's downplayed COVID, he has some QAnon leanings and has tried to deny the election a lot of times. He tries to claim that we shouldn't be teaching anti-racism in schools, and his main thing is riling up people and then acting calm and collected to try to prove, hey, I'm the rational one, you're all blowing everything out of proportion. And it's such a low tactic, basically. Which brings me to, why am I talking about this Gilp, guy I'd like to punch, on my Christianity channel? Like I said at the top, he is a Christian himself, and he has a lot of messaging that is very Christian nationalist. And to give you kind of a definition of what Christian nationalism is, it's this idea that we should have Christians in power, basically, to rule. Which, watch my Burn Babylon Down video, is pretty anti-Christ-like. I would be all for trying to make Christian ideals more a part of how this country operates if those Christian ideals were the ideals of Jesus, such as, you know, justice and caring for the least of these. Instead of being like the rich man who's really, it's like gonna be hard for him to get to heaven. Remember that? Because he won't give things up because he's greedy. Right, Steven Crowder? We both went to Sunday school. It's just, my brain, maybe it's just because it's a small little woman brain, cannot comprehend how someone could dedicate their life and their time to putting out some of the most harmful content I have ever seen with a snicker and a smile. with like that Christian label slapped on it. Young boys especially will be watching YouTube videos about gaming, and then the YouTube algorithm will put them down this path known as like the alt-right pipeline that sucks them into this really harmful ideology that capitalizes upon the fear and the anger that might be, you know, rustling up inside of them because of puberty and you got a lot of emotions you're trying to deal with, and society telling you have to be big and tough and gruff and out big and tough and gruff everyone around you. This charismatic guy who, if his jokes were funny, would have comedic timing. With a fancy set and big jacked muscles, these kids are going to look up to you, and you have a responsibility with your platform to treat them well. And maybe you do think, you're not watching this, but if you are Steven Crowder, you might think that you're doing these kids right, you're teaching them the right way to think, but you're actually helping to perpetuate the violence that is taught to especially young boys against people that are different. And maybe the only way to get through to you is a punch to your face if I'm gonna speak this masculinity language. Because I scrolled through your Twitter for this. Not long ago, when former President Barack Obama's family pet died, their dog, Bo, you wished him this.
I'm sorry to hear it. Dogs bring out the best in us. Prayers for you and the family.
You have the ability to be compassionate. I don't understand why you consistently choose not to be in the content that you create. Yes, YouTube might be in the process of deplatforming you. Take that as an opportunity to evaluate why. Maybe it's not slashing your right to free speech, but saying you are harming people. We're gonna take away your microphone. We all need a little bit of a pride check sometimes. I don't know if it'll happen. The pessimistic side of me is like, Steven Crowder's never gonna change. The optimistic side of me is like, anything is possible. Anything is possible. But I just really pray, because I am a Christian myself, that God will work in his heart to kind of break down some of this hatred and fear and anger it seems has overtaken him a bit, to extend love.
Hey y'all, while watching that back, I realized I kind of came across as a pious little piece of shit. And I'm realizing as I was filming that was me talking to myself to remind myself that no one is above grace. But I also want to make it very clear that, like, he also is doing terrible bad things, and that needs to be called out, and that is not okay. And he needs consequences and repercussions for his actions.
Like I said earlier, he's a charismatic guy, and he has the gifts to do some real good in the world. And he's really doing some awful. So that's the video. Super fun and light, I know. Like, comment, and subscribe. Fact check me if I got anything wrong. But overall, I'm hoping that this comment section can be overflowing with love, especially for the people that Steven Crowder comes after, especially since it's June. Bye. So I guess I should probably do my own little Rocky training montage, huh?